Hi everyone, this is Elisa from Anaya's Toy Box Crochet, and I'm here to tell you what I've been up to. So first of all, I want to thank you all. Thank you so much for coming to watch me show off my makes. I really do love that you come, and I really do enjoy showing them off. You can find me on social media as Anaya's Toy Box. I am on Facebook, I am on Instagram, I am on Etsy, and I am on Ravelry. Uh, all the links are down below if you're interested. So here I am. I'm here. I know I said I wouldn't be filming this week, but our trip got canceled. My son got sick. Like when I say he got sick, he got sick. He was really bad on Thursday and Friday. It's not COVID, by the way. We tested him. It's a cold from the weather change, probably. And yeah, he got sick, so we didn't go. I started my job. The first 2 days were training, and the last 3 days from Wednesday on, you could hear movement. I'm not home alone in the house anymore. Yeah, so 3 days were actual working at the school, and it was really nice. I enjoyed it. It was tiring though. I haven't worked with little children in a while, and I haven't had a little child in a while. My children are, my youngest is 7, elementary school age. So it was really fun. I'm a floater, so I'm getting from class to class, and it's nice to work with these kids and see them, and they're so adorable. I have worked with special needs children before, so it wasn't like a complete shocker. Yeah, it was fun, and they're so adorable, and some of them are so clever. Okay, so what have I been up to? So, like I said, it was really, I am going to slowly adjust to the routine, I'm sure. But as the first few days that I'm doing it, I was pretty tired. So I did make stuff, obviously. I made this after, I finished this before I started work. I just had to sew on the, I'll just show it to you. I just had to sew on the polka dots, or what do you call them? Like, you know, the top of the mushroom. I know I said this will never be a pattern, and it may never be a pattern. This is, I'm going to call it a first draft. It is not going to sell as it is now, but I did have a new idea that I would like to try before I give up on this pattern. So we'll see. Hopefully it works. So we'll look out for it. I haven't started it yet, but I will soon, and I'm going to see how that turns out. But this is my first one. I'm calling it a Mushroom Spirits doll. It is not going to be for sale on any store, like the pattern, until I figure it out. Hi, cutie. You're awake. Okay, hold on 1 second, and then we'll...
Hi.
Yeah, my baby woke up. Are you feeling any better?
Yeah.
Yeah? He's feeling better. He's not coughing right now, which is good. All right, so that's my first FO. I mean, there's nothing much to talk about besides I will try it again. I got an idea. Last week I was super frustrated, and I said, I am never going to do this. It's never going to be a pattern. But I've got an idea, and I will try to make a second draft sometime soon so I could show it to you. I also finished this one. I'm looking for where the stitch marker is. So this is, okay, I finished everything except for sewing in the ends. I have not been in the mood to sew in ends. There's going to be a couple of finishes I'm going to show you with the ends still on. I apologize. I'm just going to go to my Ravelry page just to make sure I'm telling you the right name of the shawl. Okay, so this is the Adalia shawl. It is by Expression Fiber Arts, and you see where that stitch marker is? That's where I was when I last showed it to you. So I finished it. I ran out of yarn. It is really big. It's a lot bigger than I normally make shawls.
It could be a blanket for me.
It could be a blanket for you. So if you look, if I go my arm span right here, this is the amount I have left over on this side that's hanging, and this is the amount I have left over on this side hanging. So yeah, I've been tired after work, so I haven't been thinking about weaving in ends, which I really should. I probably will sit down and weave ends today. But anyways, I used the yarn from Signet called Prism for this for this shawl, I had 4 skeins. I used all 4 skeins of them, and I didn't have enough for the last 2 rows. I didn't have enough for the last 2 rows, so I took out the prism. It said it's DK, but I think it's thinner. Here, take a look at this. This is the Prism Signet, and this one right here is the Premier DK, Everyday DK. You could tell the difference, that one is thinner than the other. It's okay. I find I kind of like the fact that this is thicker because it gives a ruffly edge at the bottom, and since this is an edging, I think it works out fine. But anyways, I finished this. It is so huge I can't fit it on camera, so you get an idea of what it looks like looking at it like this. It is beautiful. This again is the Adalia shawl. I got it from Expression Fiber Arts, and by the way, if you guys are not signed in to the newsletter of Expression Fiber Arts, it's really worth it. I can't buy their yarn because their yarn has wool in it. And even if even if it didn't, it's pricey. I wouldn't be able to buy it all the time. But look at the colors. Isn't it gorgeous? They give out patterns every Friday, and their patterns are gorgeous. They're gorgeous. This is an Expression Fiber Art pattern. It is called the Adalia shawl, and I got it because I'm signed into their newsletter, and they send out a free pattern every Friday. And this I got for free, and it's beautiful. I will link this down below if anyone is interested. If you don't have it for free, it is certainly worth paying for because it's a beautiful shawl. There are no repeats to the shawl, so you do have to pay a lot of attention, and I did, and I love it.
Can you pause it for a second?
Give me 1 sec. Okay, just a warning, you're about to hear life noises because, I'm not home alone. So he's decided he wants to make breakfast, so he's using the air fryer. My air fryer is noisy. But I feel like I need to get this video out now because if I don't film it now, it's just gonna get noisier here. So yes, so I finished that. Then I finished these 2. Now these 2 I made out of little bits of yarn that I had. I had them, I have a little bag over here full of, where they have yarn. It's not quite working yarn, but it is working yarn. Sorry, it is working yarn. Working yarn, by the way, is yarn that I have already used, but I have enough to start an amigurumi project. So I do have a little bag of your working yarn, but it's a little working yarn. Like you could only do a little project. So I made this. This is an octo from the Dabbling Hook. Link will be down below, like with everything. And I had to adjust the little legs and make them a little smaller because I was running out of yarn. That's how little yarn I had left of this. But I made it, surprisingly, this, which is just going rows and rows and rows of similar stuff, or this, which I will show you in a second, which is the same thing. When I was tired, that didn't work for me. That felt like it was too much work. I needed amigurumi to relax. So I made this. I love him. This is going to be a toy for boys. Oh, sorry. It's not going to be a toy for boys. My toys for boys is very popular with the little boy that's sitting right there. Okay, but anyways, I made that octo, and I had a little bit left of the orange yarn from the rooster I made. So this is the Amigo XL, and I made this little cat. This cat is my pattern. These 2 patterns, by the way, the octo from Rel of the Dabbling Hook, and this cat is my go-to pattern to finish up little bits of yarn. So this is a tiny, the Scrappy Cat. I call it Scrappy Cat because you use a little bit of yarn. Now I want to show you the eyes. I worked on this at night. Do you see that? The eye is cracked inside. And I made this at night because, I came home from work and I made this, I think, in one day. And, I did the legs. Like I always start with the legs. Even if it's not the first thing in the pattern, I always start with the legs. I made the legs, and then I worked up the body put in the eyes, I wasn't looking very carefully, and plus it was, you know, it's nighttime. The nothing is as bright in the night that it is during the day. And when I woke up in the morning, I'm like, oh my gosh, I used the wrong eye. It's cracked. So this poor little itty bitty kitty has a little cracked eye.
Poor kitty.
Yeah, poor kitty. Okay, so my next thing that I want to show you, I am calling it an FO because all the crochet part is finished. I do need to weave in ends and do just a tiny little bit of sewing. I'm not going to try it on this time, but it is my cardie. This cardie is from Katie and the Squid. Whoops. Here it is. This is where I showed it to you last. Do you see it? Oh, I think I held it too high. Okay, this is where I was when I showed it to you last time. Well, I finished the rest of it, and I finished the sleeves. Look, where are the sleeves? Here are the sleeves. I finished 2 sleeves. It is done, and I am definitely gonna wear it on my next video. It's done. It's, well, done. It's got ends to weave in, which I'll probably be doing today. Like, I have a lot of ends to weave in because this week I have been so tired that I'm like, I don't want to do that. And I haven't been weaving in ends. But this one, there's a reason why I didn't weave it in ends. I finished this last night. I went to sleep a little later than I would have because I was determined to finish up to the cuffs, which is right here. I finished it last night and then went to bed. So that's why it's not weaved in. But I love it. I can't wait to wear it. I will wear it in my next video so you can see what it looks like. And I might, if I get a chance today, after I weave in the ends, I might put it on and put up a little picture or video here, which I have made absolutely no promises that I will do that, but I might make put it on, show it off on me after I weave in the ends, if I weave in the ends today, because I have a lot of ends to weave. A lot of ends. Alright, so those are my FOs. I am counting these 2, even though the ends are on, as FOs, because I don't need to work too much more on it, just a little bit. Alright, so my whips. Okay, so what happened was I found that it's kind of weird, like this thing where I'm making just a row and I'm doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, my poor baby. Like just increasing in every whatever amount. I didn't find that. Or this where I was just doing the same thing over and over again, like just working it around, maybe doing 1 decrease. It's only 1 decrease per round as you are making the sleeves small, thinner and thinner. I didn't quite find those relaxing. And I realized when I started making the little octo that just really, I guess it was familiar and it just really soothed me and helped me relax. So I picked up a pattern. This is a pattern I won on Instagram. It is a paid-for pattern. It is a T-Rex, which I did not finish yet. The reason I did not finish it is because this is his little snout right here, and I have arms and legs here. The reason I didn't finish it is you need to, oh, my poor baby, I'm sorry. Go put a sweater on, please. Okay? Yeah. Sorry about that. Anyways, I have to surface crochet on this, and I don't mind surface crocheting. I do it all the time. It doesn't bother me in any way, but I was sort of like, I'm too tired for it. So that's all I have left. I have made everything else, the arms, the legs, the snout. Oh boy, I lost a leg. I have to find it. But anyways, the only thing that I am missing is the finishing up. This is the arm, by the way. Finishing up the legs by surface crocheting it and then doing the leg part. And to tell you the truth, that's not a big deal to me. I just didn't feel like doing it, so I didn't. So I will try to finish this off very, very soon and start some new amigurumis because it helps me, or maybe work more on my working yarn that is almost scraps. very soon. But anyways, I worked on it. And I also picked up my knitting. I'm kind of sad about my knitting. This is a Turbulence shawl. This is also Expression Fiber Arts. I also got it free from being on her newsletter, and I worked quite a bit on it. So the bottom stitch marker right there is where I was last time I showed it to you. So I did work on it, and I do enjoy it, and I am enjoying knitting. Knitting is very relaxing. I find it's, especially like when you're doing the garter stitch, which is, most of this is the garter stitch. Just here you do a little bit of lace and purling. It is very relaxing. It helps you calm down and everything. But I have an issue with metal. I don't wear any rings. I don't have any jewelry on. No earrings, no necklace, no nothing. In the past, I would say 10 years. Like when I was a teenager, seeing me without any jewelry was strange. I had rings on all the time. I had bracelets on. I wore a necklace, well, not a necklace, a chain. I wore a chain, and I wore it to sleep, so I never took it off. The rings I would take off because they would bother me when I was going to sleep. But the rest of the jewelry that I was wearing, the rings and the bracelets, I would take off just because they bothered me when I was sleeping. But necklace, earrings, those stuff stayed on all the time. And then all of a sudden I started noticing that I was getting little aches in my fingers when I was wearing my ring. Well, I didn't realize at first it was my rings. And my wrist, it felt like heavy. And my neck felt heavy too, like I had a big weight on it. And what I had was, all I had was this really, really thin chain. And one day, my daughter, when she was a baby, yanked at the chain and the lobster claw broke. And so I took it off. And when I took it off, so I could get it fixed, I just kind of realized that that little ache that I have on my neck, it was gone. And then there were days when I had a little baby that I forgot to put my rings on and my bracelet on, and I felt my wrist didn't feel so heavy, my hands didn't ache so much. And I realized that I have some sort of allergy to metal. Now, it's for any metal. And after that, I realized that when I'm paying, like there was this one time, sorry, let me just pause it while the beeping ends. Okay, so I was saying, my fingers wasn't as achy, and I stopped wearing the jewelry probably because subconsciously I linked the jewelry with these aches. But the one day that I noticed that there's something wrong, like there's something wrong with me wearing metal, that there's something, I have a reaction to it, was, so my daughter, she was a baby and she was acting up, and I paid with cash. So I had picked her up to try to calm her down when I was at the cash register, and when they gave me the change, I just had it in my fist while I was carrying my baby and pushing the stroller. And then, like after she calmed down, I put all the change away, and I noticed my hand was feeling achy again. And that is when it clicked that I can't do metal. Like I can't hold on to metal too long. It feels like my joints are hurting, like the attachments. I'm very aware of my bones. Like, you know how it's aching, like you're aching on your bones. So I stopped, wearing jewelry. I am not wearing any jewelry right now. Hold on a second. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So, poor baby. Okay, so I stopped wearing jewelry, made everything better. I felt better. When I started crocheting, I did use a metal, one of those metal, no, it was aluminum, so it didn't really bother me. I started crocheting in an inline hook. It was Red Heart, the brand, and it was an inline hook, and it is aluminum, and it did not bother me. I switched to Clover Soft Touch pretty soon after that, just because I lost a hook, and I went to Michael's and I couldn't find the Red Heart because they don't have it. that I bought from Canada. They didn't have the red heart. They didn't have this. They
I
had.
don't think you can get a Canada hook back from New York.
Oh, I'm sure I could find it here somewhere, but it wasn't in Michael's. I had already tried the boy and I didn't like it, and so I grabbed the Clover Soft Touch, and after that, I have been a Clover girl since then. Maybe go drink some water. That might help with your cough. The kid's sick. Anyways, back to my metal story. With crochet, I don't notice it too much, but these needles, after knitting for a little bit, they get to me. And I know there are wooden needles, sorry. I know there are wooden needles, and I could use those. I actually initially did buy a set of wooden needles, not because it clicked to me that the needles will bother me, just because it was there. I bought a set of wooden needles from Amazon, like the generic wooden needles, and I absolutely hated it. I really, really hated working with it. It was a little like the yarn was always catching on the wood. It does slow you down. I'm pretty sure even if I use better wooden needles, it would slow me down. But that one, it was like a struggle to get the stitches off the needles because it was just getting snagged all the time. So I don't know. I'm gonna go to Michael's one day. I don't know when, and I'll get myself a set of wooden needles from Michael's. I think they're Clover brands in Michael's, and try it out and see if I like it. And if I don't, knitting might be a very, very, like I only do it very little, like once in a while. I'm not gonna, I do enjoy knitting, not as much as I enjoy crocheting, but I feel like it's going to be something that I rarely do just because, you do a little bit. Like I work like 4 rows or 5. I picked it up quite a few times for this, but I do like 5 rounds for 5-6 rows, and then my hands start getting achy because I'm reacting to the metal. So I'm not so sure how much knitting I will be doing in my future. I have a whole generic set from Amazon of needles that are circular that have metal needles on them. I do. Can you please go get some water right now? Right now. Yeah, so remember those times when I would just talk for like 20 minutes and finish my thing without having to stitch the videos together? I think those days are long gone. Anyways, I'm not home alone anymore. So I love this yarn. This is the Alize Batik, Ombre Batik. I have showed it before. And there it is. I love it. You can't even tell where the color changes. You can't. It is gorgeous. I think I would have knit more if my fingers weren't hurting. So I think I have, maybe I could transfer this into, I think I have a Knit Picks wooden needle. I'm not sure. Like I just bought like one set to try it out. One. It might not be the same size, but we'll see. But unless I find wooden needles or plastic needles that I love, I don't see myself knitting quite so often. Yeah, so I have one more thing to show you, and then I'm going to get off because, yeah, this video has been a bit. Okay, thank you. Okay, so I showed you that I decided to use up, yeah, no ends are weaved in here either. I don't even take a needle with me. Okay, so I have decided I am going to use up my 2-weight cotton and make a blanket out of Hexie. So at this moment, I'm not even thinking of how the blanket is going to look, how I'm going to put it together, or anything like that. All I am doing is trying to use up the yarn. Those yarns are amongst the oldest yarn I've had. I've had them all for a very, very long time. And some of it is used, like I put it in dolls already, I just didn't finish it. And some of it, like I had this color, I have 2 of, like I had 1.5 skeins of it. And So I'm getting different amounts out of every color that I'm using. For instance, I only got 2 out of the dark blue. I got 3 out of the yellow, and 2 out of the pink. So I'm getting different numbers. So I'm not even thinking about how I'm going to lay it out. If I do, I'm going to go crazy, because if I am trying to make it exactly, I won't be able to do it. So I am working through my Shepia's. Oh, I don't have it here. I'm working through my Shepia's yarn, and I have one more of this color. I don't know why I have the white on top. Let's put the white there on top of the pink, and then this. So these are what it looks like. All of them look like this. This is roughly, not exactly the pattern from Cinnamon Stitches. She has a tutorial. I'm making them like this. I work on them only. I might finish one if I'm almost finished, but I work on them only when I'm not home. So if I get a chance on the bus or the subway, which no, the bus and the subways are so full going to work, I have not done that in a while. If I am waiting, like for instance, I go to pick up my daughter and I need to wait a little bit for her to come out, I will take this out and work up a few rounds of this. I work them basically when I'm not at home is when I'm working on this. And this is a long-term project. I have totally accepted it. I am just making hexies. It is easier when you're going out and you're just grabbing it for a row or so to be working on small projects. And even though a blanket is not a small project, each of these hexies are out of a 25-gram round skein of, it's not even 25 grams. Like, it was 25 grams when I bought it, but I have a 25-gram skein of Shepia's Katona, and I get multiple of these coming out of it, and it's really nice, it's really fast, and it's really convenient when you're outside of home. You have nothing hanging on you. You don't have to worry about it touching any part of the subway, because the subway is gross. It's convenient, and it keeps my hands busy and gives me something to do during the commute. Not that I've been doing it, because I've been standing. And yeah, subway riding is not fun. I've always rode on subways during non-rush hour times, and even that can get pretty bad. Even that can get pretty bad, but now I'm on the subway during rush hour, and it's not fun. There's so many people there. You'll see a handful of people wearing a mask. I wear a mask all day. Like, go to work wearing a mask. I wear a mask the whole time I'm at the school. Basically, I put the mask on before I leave home, and I don't take it off until I come home. I don't usually wear a mask when I'm walking around outside. It's only when I go inside I wear a mask, but when I'm going to work, I just wear it the whole time. It's just easier that way. And there's only a few people who wear masks, and the subways are packed. Ugh, they're packed. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to deal with. Yeah, I told my husband, oh my gosh, it's like, like when you're filling up a jar of something, anything, like say it's beans. You get a packet of beans and you put it into a jar, and then you kind of shake it up again, and then the beans go down, settle a little lower, and you have room to put a little bit more. The subways are like that. You get in, it's packed, we go down the line, everything shakes up a little bit, and the next stop, more people are able to come in. It's awful. It's awful. But it's my life now. Luckily, my work isn't too far. I don't have to take the subway for too long. Anyways, I have been talking for quite a bit. I don't even know how long, because I stopped and started this video for so many times. If you hear my child cough in this video, I'm not going to apologize. The poor kid is sick and he can't stop himself. I feel bad that he is coughing. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. My videos are going to be disjointed from now on, because I won't be able to film it all in one go anymore. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe.